Hi, everyone. Welcome to Monday night's team Zoom. For those of you that I don't know or haven't met yet, my name is Emily Yanez, and I'm a global director. And for those of you who weren't on last week and you're like, what's happening in the world? I know I don't look like Justin, but we've decided to come together. So you've got the heavy hitters. You've got Justin, Desiree DeBay, Joy Avini, and I all decided to join forces just for energy and synergy and to get everyone together. And I feel like personally, we're an amazing mix of like four really different personalities that I think bring a lot of things that, I'm not like Justin, Justin's not like me, I feel like Joy and I are closer to each other, but we're different too. So it's just fun. It's going to be awesome. So good evening, good evening. So that's my intro. What I want to talk about today, we've got some people not muted. I should have done mute all. All right, cool. So what we're going to be talking about today is attrition, and not just attrition that's been happening, because we can all say it out loud. It's okay. There's been a bit of attrition lately, and that's the reality of it. But for those of you who've been around for like, maybe this is at least your second year or more, you know how the holidays go. Someone muted me. There can be holiday attrition if you don't know what to do to front load and beat it. So I think a lot of people get in the mindset, clients and coaches alike, that, oh, it's the holidays. No one's going to want to do this. It's going to be so hard to bring on clients. And we are really not assisting ourselves at all. And it's like the self-fulfilling prophecy. There are lots of us that did program during holiday and did an amazing job. I'm one of them. First time I did program was through Thanksgiving and Christmas and Halloween. And I was determined to do, it wasn't perfect, but I think people get in their heads so much about the holidays when really it's like, if you add up the days, I'm like, you're going to put your health off for 3 or 4 months over 3 or 4 days. Like, that's insane. And once you say that out loud, people realize kind of how silly that sounds. So what I wanted to do tonight is I brought on the amazing Kelly Floyd and the amazing Sophia Mejia. And between the three of us, we're going to give you guys some tips to avoid attrition. It's really scary when you look at your projected at the beginning of the month and it's like 7.5K and you're like, I'm good. I'm going to be an executive director. And then the emails start rolling in and the client check-ins aren't going so great, or people aren't picking up. And then all of a sudden you keep looking at projected and you're like, oh, it's like a little bit lower, a little bit lower, a little bit lower. And the past couple months have been interesting. That's the word I'm going to use. And I've seen people start the month out at like, I'm going to be at 8K. And then it's like 2,000 or 3,000 less by the end of the month. And these are coaches that are doing great client support. They're doing all the things. It's just been a real season. Okay. And so it's all right if that's been happening to you, but there's things we can do. And so we're going to talk about how much client support is going to help. We're going to talk about the things we can control, like tracking numbers, helping your team track their numbers. And then I'm going to sort of, finish off this evening talking about different ways we can incentivize and really make it fun for our clients to really hang in there for these last couple months of the year. So with that, I will introduce Kelly Floyd to you, and she's going to go over how providing amazing client support is really where it's at in terms of avoiding scary, I almost said attrition. Kelly.
Thank you, Emily. And I am so glad that we're kind of normalizing this. I remember thinking like I was the only one, that nobody else ever lost clients, that everybody else's frontline just, kept going in this beautiful upward direction. And it was just me. And then I remember talking about the fact that, hey, this is what's happening. And Emily being like, it's not just you. So much like Emily, I actually did program through the holidays. I started in August, hit my goal early December, maintained beautifully until I got pregnant again. And it wasn't a thing, right? Like I didn't even think about it. It actually made the holidays easier. I'm actually a person who often, and I tell my clients this, I am going to go on program beginning of November. Do it for a couple of reasons. And I talk to my clients about this too. November and December are hard in terms of there's just a lot going on. They're stressful, they're busy, there's things. And the more structure I can have in what I'm putting in my mouth, the less I have to think about that, the better. And yes, I do decide that I'm going to make certain choices on Thanksgiving and Christmas and maybe a party or two. But for the most part, I lose weight through Christmas and Thanksgiving every single year. Now, my first year coaching, I did have that mindset of like, everybody's going to quit, nobody's going to want to start. And guess what happened? That. It's what I said was going to happen. And it's exactly what I brought to myself. Right. And so the next year I was like, no, this isn't going to happen. These are going to be two of my biggest months. And every year since then, November and December have been two of my biggest months. I bring on more clients in those 2 months or restart clients in those 2 months than I do any other month of the year, including January, right? Which is when everybody starts, right? But I don't have to work as hard for those. So let me tell you a little bit about what I do. So the first thing is I send a message out to all my clients, current clients, old clients, maintenance clients, everybody. And I say, hey, the holidays are coming up. I know that they're busy and they're hard for a lot of us. And so I just want to know how I can best support you during these holidays. Sometimes people want to get back on program. So I can support you getting back on program, doing a restart or a reset. Sometimes people just want some recipes. I always send out healthy Thanksgiving recipes, healthy holiday recipes for parties, healthy Christmas recipes. I always send those out to clients. Would you like me to put you on the list to send those out to? Or some people want to just be left alone, and that's okay. And so I just send that out, and you'll be, if you don't do this already, you would be shocked by how many clients who are like, hey, I'm going to do a reset during the holidays. Thank you so much for reaching out. I have been thinking about doing this. This is going to make the holidays so much easier. And so many people restart with me during the holidays. Now, the other thing I do is I give excellent client support. So we start talking about the holidays end of October, beginning of November. And I mean, we're already talking this month about Halloween, but for most of my clients, that doesn't seem to be a deal. It's more Thanksgiving, holiday parties, and then Christmas. And I ask them point blank, I'm like, hey, how do you want to navigate this season? What do you want your outcome to be? Because guess what? It's not my journey. I'm not going to say, hey, we're going to lose weight during the holidays. No. I say, what do you want? Because then we can work backwards and create a plan for them. And most of them do want to continue losing weight. It's okay. All right. What does that look like for you? Does that mean that you want to, attend these events and stay strict on the 5 and 1? Does that mean you want to attend these events and do something closer to like a 4 and 2? Does that mean you want to attend these events and just your plan is to not be on plan? So whatever it is, you just want to make a plan, right? And then you help normalize, like you help them realize that like the holiday events are not going to be like every single day. I think people just get in their heads and they think, oh my gosh, it's like all of November, December. It's not. So ask them, say, hey, well, so how many parties, get-togethers do you think you're going to have? Like, how many do you usually have? What's normal for you? And they think about it and then they tell you and they're like, oh, well, there's like 5. There's 5 get-togethers and 4 of those are on the same 2 days. Great. We can work with that. Do you think you would be okay to partner with me and navigate those 4 or 5 days together and make a plan for those? And they're like, yeah. And you're just going to stay on plan the rest of the time? Yeah. Well, there you go. You're just normalizing the experience, because most of us, we just get in this mindset, and this is old diet mentality mindset, guys. Like this is like old school mindset that we had before we ever started this program of it's just a wash. November, December are just a wash. They don't have to be a wash. You could be 20 pounds lighter in January if you're a woman, 30 pounds lighter if you're a man, if you decide that you want to stick to your goals. If you decide you want to eat off plan a couple of days, you can still be close to that amount later. This is just a way to help your clients navigate this and retrain their mindset so that they're not thinking, oh, I'm just going to throw up my hands and just not do anything. And then they're going to push their order. They're going to order less. Maybe they won't come back in January, because we know what happens when you get out of your structure and your support, that snowball effect starts happening, especially if there's not been a lot of time to change, right? And so let's start now. Let's normalize that it's not that many days. Let's ask what they want their outcome to be. Let's get them to tell us how many days they actually think that the 5 and 1, 4 and 2, whatever their plan is going to be impacted. And then let's make a plan that keeps their outcome in mind. This is about them. This is their journey. And if you do that with your clients, you aren't going to lose many of them. They're going to stay with you. And as long as you aren't one of those coaches who's shaming your clients or food policing your clients, they're going to feel okay to tell you what they really want. I'm very clear with my clients. I'm not your food police. I am never going to shame you for making a decision that doesn't support your goals. We're just going to talk about it and learn from that. So be that coach, be the coach that's going to support them and guide them and help normalize the experience of staying healthy through the holidays, sticking to your goals and how it might look for them during the holidays. Hopefully that's helpful for you guys and will provide a way to really support past clients, current clients, and even future clients who are going to come to you and want to get started in November and December and not wait until January, so that they're not losing the 13, 15 pounds that most people gain over the holidays. Like, people actually gain that much weight over the holidays. It blows my mind. So you don't want to lose that plus whatever you had to lose before. So hopefully that's helpful for you guys.
I mean, yes, right, guys? That was super helpful. Thank you so much, Kelly. And I think it's just perfect to start that conversation now, like this week during check-in, start that conversation, because what I find is a lot of people are like, oh, I don't really have a plan. And that's the problem. Or they'll say, oh, I'll just see how it goes. And I'm like, honestly, seeing how it goes for me meant it started with chips. And then, if I don't have a plan, my plan is to just go nuts. Like, let's be real. Like, and so I'm like, and that's fine if that is your plan, but like, just giving them option. It's so crazy. Like Kelly was saying, the diet mentality, they don't see a gray area. It's either I'm on plan or I'm just off the rails. And when you let them know, like, hey, maybe for Thanksgiving, is your like going off going to be the pie, or is it going to be alcohol? Or do you love whatever bread? Like, and they're like, oh, that's true. I could just pick one thing. Yeah. So it doesn't have to be all of those things. You can pick the one that's your favorite. Oh, okay. Cause it's honestly really easy to get through Thanksgiving on plan. Like you guys know, like loaded cauliflower mashed potatoes changed my life. And my family's life. They never know. When I brought it, they were like, the potatoes you brought were so good. And I was like, joke's on you, suckers. We're getting healthy. All right. So moving on to Sophie. Sophie's amazing when it comes to not only tracking her own numbers, she's like the Excel spreadsheet queen. I'm like, what are you tracking in there? The secrets to the universe. And then on top of it, she's like got all her coaches figured out. She's got it all figured out. So I wanted her to give you guys some tips on what to look at, what to do, how to spot check and find those blind spots. So Soph.
Awesome. I'm happy to talk about this. I feel like this has been something that I've been honing in this year. So you guys, tracking your numbers, tracking your numbers helps you go through the month in a very effective way, and it helps you hit your goals. What we don't track, we get surprised by. But really, there are no surprises in this business as long as you're paying attention, quite frankly. I'm going to be honest. Like, if you're paying attention, you can't be surprised. I like to track what's going on with me and my organization. I don't want to get to the end of the month and scramble with my coaches to try to maintain a rank. That's not a good feeling for me or for them. And really, the only time we should be scrambling at the end of the month is because somebody is hitting a new goal or rank, and that would be fantastic. Those are the fun months. So what I like to do is, when I'm tracking, things that tracking helps you do is it helps you anticipate the trouble in your organization. It gives you time to troubleshoot and connect with your support team and come up with solutions. Like Emily was saying, I track numbers for my whole organization each day in a month. For some coaches, it might just be me checking to see, are they getting 5 orders in and they're hitting senior coach, things like that. But for other coaches, I'm actually tracking their numbers. I'm tracking to see what's gone through, what hasn't, because like I said, I don't want to be surprised. I don't want them to be surprised. And I'm just trying to protect everything in my own business. And also I'm trying to protect my coaches too. So if it's just you and your coach, or if it's just you by yourself, it's so easy to track your numbers, you guys. That's what that map is for, hint, hint. Because literally all you can do, all you need to do is just cross things off as they start to process. And then you'll notice, oh, hey, Janie's order was supposed to process yesterday. It didn't. Let me go back and see what happened. And usually like things happen, like maybe something didn't process because they need to like update their card, or maybe they moved their order up. You just want to be aware. But as you get to have a bigger organization, it's good for you to track everything so that you are able to see where you are, where your coaches are, and if everybody's trending toward their goals. So it's just good to track and pay attention. So one thing I do like to pay attention to is canceled premier orders. And Emily is really good about doing this in my organization too. Sometimes she'll drop things into some of my coach chats. I never assume when I see that canceled premier email that it's on purpose. I always assume that they need to update their card or something along those lines, like there's a glitch or something. And I'll forward the email to them, and I might text them as well. And I say, hey, I just want to make sure you saw this. I didn't want you to think that your order went through when it didn't. I don't want you to run out of the tools that you need to be able to do your program effectively. And then I say, sometimes you just need to update your card, and I make it no big deal. And usually I'll get a big, huge thank you, and they'll update it. And they didn't even realize it because, quite frankly, I think there's a lot of wind right now. Quite frankly, I feel like a lot of times people are so busy, they don't even always notice when emails come their way. And, we just always want to assume that people didn't see it. I also let coaches in my organization know when I see canceled premier orders in their back office too, if I notice, because I want to teach them to do it the same way. If they're canceling for real, I make it no big deal. And I say, have you met your goal yet? I don't want you to waste all of your hard work. I want to make sure that we do transition and maintenance properly. I never assume anything. And they appreciate us looking out for them. And so that's another conversation if, they did actually cancel it for real. And it just gives us another opportunity to connect with our clients, quite frankly. Another thing I look at are orders that are under $250. So I will email or message them or both. And I just say, hey, I just want to make sure that you don't have to pay full price for shipping, or you don't have to pay for shipping when you don't need to. And I'll talk to them about how, orders under $250, they pay the minimum shipping, orders under $150 max, all that kind of stuff. And some clients will just bump their orders up a little bit just so they don't have to pay for shipping, and they thank me. And a lot of times they don't even realize that this stuff is happening. And so, it's just that intentional conversation. And then it gives you an opportunity again to connect with them. And they appreciate it when we look at these things too, you guys. If you come at people with the mindset that you're looking out for them, and that you're just wanting to support them, and that you're just wanting to make sure that their program is intact, they will have a positive reaction to how you reach out to them, and they appreciate it. We are never bothering our clients. This is what you do to support them, and never assume anything, like we've talked about before. So sometimes I also look at small orders, and this gives us another opportunity to talk to our clients and reach out to them. And you just talk to them, and you're just like, hey, what's going on? Are you doing, are you on full program right now? Have you met your goal? Even if you know that they haven't, never assume anything. Sometimes if they say I have extra fuel lanes, then you say, oh, maybe we need to regroup and figure out like what's going on with your program and what you need to accomplish your goals. Are you seeing your success? This might be an indication as to why, if you're not.
It is so windy here in Southern California. I feel like her internet got knocked out.
Crazy windy here.
Yeah, it's intense. All right, well, if she comes back, I'm like waiting. I feel like she's going to. At least she paused pretty. I always pause ugly. That's so killing it at the info given and killing it at that face. All right, well, I'm like waiting. All right, so I will talk about what I was gonna wrap up with, which was kind of how to make this fun. This is a really great time to do that and really encourage your clients and kind of gamify things. And The way that our team really does that is by getting in the client support group and finding fun things to do with them. Oh, Sophie, you're back.
I think it's the weather because there's crazy wind over here right
That's
now.
what I was
So
saying.
I
Wanna wrap
apologize.
up?
Yeah, I'm almost done. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's okay. Okay, perfect. So I mentor down my legs. I never do anything. I never assume they're doing anything unless I see them doing it consistently. So I might have coaches up further up my legs that aren't doing things. And so I know things aren't getting duplicated. So since I can't guarantee things are getting duplicated, I have to coach down my legs. So even if I'm the most amazing mentor on the planet, it doesn't mean that things are going, that everybody's going to be doing things that I show them to do. And so that means I need to stay connected to my coaches, and to my coaches. And I need to keep track of their goals and their numbers. And then, so basically what I do is I go to the all coach report and I check numbers. I'll go every few days and I'll check my coaches and see where they are. I'll look at the projected and I'll see like what's left. And then I work it out accordingly. And then I will reach out to my coaches and I'll tell them, I'll say, hey, look, this is where you are. This is where you're trending. You know, do you still want to hit these goals? If so, like, this is what we need to do to get there. And this, what this has done is it's saved my organization so many times because I'm not trying to figure out things the last few days of the month. I'm doing this from week 1. And every week I'm connecting with my coaches and trying to figure out all this stuff. And so basically you just don't want to assume anything. And I take control of this until I see my coaches are doing it themselves. You guys, a lot of these coaches haven't been doing this long enough to know how to keep track or know how to organize themselves. And so we have to show
them ourselves because it's our business and we're the professional, right? Soph? Exactly. But it's true. I got to tell you, when Sophie like started really, I noticed because, you know, we're all in our chats, right? Like I see what all of my coaches are doing and all the dings and everything. And I would see her just religiously letting people know. And I don't mean dragging. I mean, just being a business owner as she should. And when she started doing that, like that's when she hit integrated national and like is just so consistent doing that. And it's because she took ownership of all of that. So those are really good tips. Yeah, that's her saying sorry. You're fine. So don't even worry. All right. So like I said, let's find ways to make it fun. And we have this client support, like we all have different ones, I know, but like this is the time to utilize them. I'm not a big, I know like Joy does these amazing book clubs. I'm not great about doing that, but I really like doing really short little challenges where they can win stuff that matters to them. So for example, we're doing a sugar shot challenge in our group where our clients have a chance to win $100 of wellness credit, and $100 is enough to get people excited. And let me show you the graphic I made for it. I'm happy to share. Okay, so this is our sugar shot challenge. So win $100 of wellness credit. Basically, all they have to do is take a picture. Oh, and I gave them examples so they can see, you know, Erica looks crazy. So we want them to take a picture holding the amount of Halloween candy representing how much weight they lost. They get 1 point for posting that on their Facebook timeline and tagging their coach. And then they get extra points for every friend of theirs who hits share and shares on their timeline. And that way it was the easiest way to kind of track the points. And then I'm going to do a raffle on Halloween, and whoever gets drawn gets $100 of wellness credit. The great thing about this is it's going to hold them accountable. They're going to have fun and someone's going to win a bunch of money, but how wonderful for the coach too, right? That's like Kelly had a amazing man. We want him to coach. He's so cute. But he posted his, and it's just like no big deal. We're like, get extra points, go ask your friends. And he's like, oh, okay. He's like, I thought they were just supposed to hit share on their own, but yeah, I'll go ask them. And like now he has all these people hitting share. And the wonderful thing about this is Kelly, as his coach, is going to treat every single share as if it's her own Facebook launch, you guys. She is going to friend all the people who liked it. She's going to respond to all the comments. She's going to follow up. And so as these clients start rolling in from these posts, we're going to ask him if he's ready to jump in. We've done a coach explore with him. So I think once he sees interest, he'll hop in. But don't force the issue if someone doesn't want to. I mean, the philosophy in our organization, at least, is if someone doesn't envision themselves at least being a senior coach, please just take their referrals. Like, there's no need to drag someone or try to like teach someone how to coach one person and then they're never going to coach another person again. That person's not going to have the best experience in the world. And I would much rather support them until that person's ready to coach for real, for real. So the sugar shot challenge is a thing that we've done. We also last year did a turkey shot challenge, same, holding turkeys that represent. So we'll do another challenge in November for that. I like to do like kind of a surviving the holidays Zoom that goes live into the client group, where I'll go over different tips and tricks and things to do the day of, and kind of talking about the mentality that we were talking about, where you don't have to blow all your progress for a couple of days. So we'll stream that live into the group and do that too. And maybe we'll do, points for getting on. Like if you do a screenshot or, take a picture of yourself watching the Zoom and post it on your timeline, and show your friends how you're doing this program that's teaching you how to actually stay on track during the holidays. How amazing. And we provide verbiage, by the way. I provided verbiage for the sugar shot thing too, so that people know not to say Optavia and just what to say and keep it simple. So I think, we just have to find ways to make it fun and not feel so daunting. And so much of this is mental, honestly. So much of getting through the holidays is mental for the client and for you too as the coach. So if you have that attitude of the holidays suck, they're going to suck if you weren't working the past couple of months before, to be honest. So like if you haven't been doing much, your holidays may not be so fruitful, because as we know, the work that we do now doesn't show up tomorrow. It's just not how it works. I was so bummed when I became a coach. I was like, I did all this work today. Where's my money? It's so weird how it didn't show up right away. So that is just how things go. But there's so much, in coaching that can feel very out of control. Oh, it's if they want to do it, if they don't want to do it, if they cancel, if they don't. But there's also so much of this that is in our control. But we have to take ownership of this and not just sit back and hope and wish and pray. It's not gonna do it. So hope this was helpful. Let me see if there's anything in the chat before I close up. I can absolutely share the graphic. Yeah, I'm more than happy to do that. So I hope that was helpful, you guys, and we will see you next Monday. See ya.